Feels good to be back. Darrin Bauming here for RiflesFootball.com with head coach Geordie Wilson, and here we are on the precipice of a new season. It's unbelievable to think, Coach, it's been nearly 2 years since your squad has played a football game, and does it almost seem like yesterday you were playing football, or maybe yesterday where you got back on the field and got things started again?
You know the old adage where they say the days are long but the years are fast? That's kind of what it's like. It's actually surreal of sorts that we're actually really going to play football. You didn't really think it was going to happen. It kept looked like it was going to happen. Finally, we're here. Pretty exciting.
Absolutely. Now, it was kind of funny how it happened because your last game of the 2019 season was also canceled. That was due to weather, if I'm not mistaken. Then, of course, the pandemic hits and no 2020 season for the Canadian Football League, for junior football, anybody, which was tough. How did the guys handle that time off? And, how many guys did you lose just because life goes on for a lot of these athletes?
Oh, lots. We could have had back 53 players, returning players, and a lot of those were starters. So the crappy part was we had built our program we were going to be a fourth and fifth year team. And usually, when you have age-related sports programs, when you get into you have the older group is when you have, your biggest chance for success. So we were poised to really have a great team. Then the pandemic hit, and then we have kids graduating from university, graduating from college, getting their red seal in a trade, their girlfriend wants to buy a house, blah, blah, blah. So we lost a lot of guys. So we've gone from being an old team to a young team.
And that comes with positives and negatives, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I say, ignorance is bliss. They're pretty fired up. They think they're going to take on the world, which is great. And we have some good athletes here, but they're just, they're inexperienced, but we're ready to roll them out there and see how it goes.
Yeah, Sunday should be a lot of fun. Kickoff 1 o'clock Central Time from here in Winnipeg, St. Vital Mustangs Field at Maple Grove Rugby Park. And if you can't make it down to the game, tickets are $15 and free for those age 17 and under. All that information can be found at RiflesFootball.com and CJFLTV.com. With the Thunder in town, you say ignorance is bliss. What are you expecting? What kind of football are we going to see after such a long layoff?
I'm sure, in fairness, probably to both teams, it might be a little bit sloppy out of the gate until the teams kind of get their feet under them. And the other thing is, too, we're potentially dealing with a monsoon here. Yeah. So we'll see how the field's going to hold up, so that could change some things. But the big thing is when you're dealing, they're a very good program, and they're well coached, and they're going to compete really hard, and we're going to compete really hard. But this is also a rival for us. We don't really particularly like them, and they don't particularly like us, and that's all good. It's all good. So this is much different than the Riders and the Bombers, the same kind of idea, and we're fired up. We can't wait to get after it.
Prior rivalry as good as it gets. Coach Wilson, we're inside today here at Winnipeg Soccer Federation Subway Soccer West, and because it is so wet outside. It's been like one of the driest summers on record here in the Prairie provinces, and now suddenly soaking wet ahead of your game. So the field will be in good condition to start. Do you need to adjust your game plan if things get a little bit sloppy on the field?
Oh, it certainly could be the case. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. The big thing is there's lots of unknowns, right? We don't know a lot about them. They don't know a lot about us. I mean, looking at their roster, they've had some turnover, obviously, as we have. So, yeah, you're right. It could change to like an old slobber knocker style game. It's hard to tell what's going to happen, but that could be a problem.
I wouldn't want to be washing those uniforms on Sunday afternoon. Tell me a little bit about your team because it is so new. Yep. Your starting quarterback. Tell me a little bit about your offense.
Yeah, so Bryson McNeil will be our starting quarterback. Bryson's a 22-year-old rookie, but he played in the Manitoba Major Junior Football League for the past few years, and in reality, he should have been playing junior football. He brings some intangibles to the game too. He's a very, he's got a little bit of fire in him, and he's got good leadership skills, and he throws a good ball. So his arm is good enough to be a good football player in this league. And like I say, he's kind of a bit of a gym rat. He really likes a lot of the stuff. He hangs around and tries to learn as much as he can.
What would you like your offensive identity to be?
Well, I think again, we need to be able to run the ball. And we have Sakina Schreibler, who's a kid out of Fort Francis, who's now a second, third, whatever. It's going to be a year player. But, he's a full-grown man, and he's an intense kid, and, we expect him to run hard. We have a couple of returning offensive linemen. Again, the offensive line, we think, we'll see how it goes, but we do believe they're a much more physical group than what we've had. They're obviously a little less experienced, but they're a physical group, and I think they're going to go scratch and claw and bite and do whatever's necessary to make plays happen. And on defense, we only have 2 starters back. So, I mean, we're young on defense. But in saying that, we're an athletic group. So it's not like they're poor athletes. They're just inexperienced. But I think they'll play hard. They'll run to the ball, and as long as you can, two things in football: you got to learn to block and tackle. If we do that well, we got a fighter's chance.
And the special teams game can always be a X factor in any football game. How do you think you're going to fare there?
Well, we spent a lot of time on that, and we do believe, like, Alex Miner is our place kicker, and he does a good job. And Luke McMillan and Liam Stevenson, they got pretty big legs. Actually, we had Brett Cameron was out helping us yesterday, actually, with our punters, trying to help, kind of refine some skills. And they both have strong legs, so kicking-wise, we're pretty good. And you know what? And we spent a lot of time with special teams over the past few weeks, and the reason being, in our league, there's no gimme games. You don't get any, Sisters of the Poor you get to play. Every game is super hard to win, and you got to get any kind of edge you can. And I think we're really going to have to be a three-phase football team to be successful. So we spend a lot of time with special teams, so we're hopeful they're going to come through for us.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun to watch on Sunday afternoon from here in Winnipeg, St. Vital Mustangs Field at Maple Grove Park. And you can watch that game live. You can find the information on riflesfootball.com and cjfltv.com as well. Final thoughts, Geordie, as we begin a new season. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I was just saying to the kids is that it's kind of like they're old horses, They are out kind of walking around eating some hay, and then they went into the barn and laid around all winter. And then we brought them out of the barn and started training them so they, get rid of that baby fat and kind of get ready to go. Now they're in the paddock. Everybody's checking them out, looking how good they are, and we're going to bet on them. And Sunday we're going to put them in the gates and we're going to let them run. See who can go.
Now it's going to be fun. Rivalry match to begin it all on Sunday. For head coach Geordie Wilson, I'm Darrin Bauming for riflesfootball.com. We'll see you Sunday afternoon.